பேரன்புடைய பெரியோர்களுக்கும் அன்பின் அடைக்கலமான தாய்மார்களுக்கும் குழந்தை செல்வங்களுக்கும் இங்க வந்து சேர்ந்திருக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் என் உள்ளம் கனிந்த பாசம் நிறைந்த வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். அன்பர்களே, முதற்கண் பிரார்த்தனை. நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் எழுத நின்று இப்பிரார்த்தனையில் கலந்து கொள்வீர்கள் என்று நான் மிக தாழ்மையாக வேண்டிக் கொள்கின்றேன். Ladies and gentlemen, the ஆரம்ப பிரார்த்தனை will be conducted by Periyar Mr. Nelson Munian, and he will lead us into prayer. I make a very humble request to each and every one of you to please rise and join us as Segran takes us together with Nelson through the prayer.
Hari அறிவு முன்னவனே ஞானி முகத்தவனே முத்தீனலும் சொன்னவனே பொய்மை சுகத்தவனே மன்னவனே செப்பரனே ஐங்கரனே செஞ்சரியும் சேகரனே தற்பதன் சரணும் சரணும் உலகளால் மகரமணிய விஷ்ணு வியாபர நித்தியமணியே மகரமணிய எகர்முணரும் மூங்கனியத்துணியும் அன்புமே துன்பும் துடிக்கும் துணியின் நெருலிங்கனியத்துணியும் காலஞ்சென்ற திரு தேவி ரெடி அவர்களை ஆத்மமும் நற்கதியும் சாந்தியும் சாந்தியும் சிவனே கதவை திறபாய் தேவ கதவை திறபாரிவோம் திருச்சற்றம்பலம். எல்லோருக்கும் மிக்க நன்றி, வணக்கம். அமரங்கள், ப்ளீஸ் பி சீட்டட்.
இன்னிசை கச்சேரி கூட்டத்தில் சேர்ந்திருக்கும் பெரியார் நெல்சன் முனியன் அவர்களுக்கும் அவர்களுடைய கூட்டத்தில் சேர்ந்திருக்கும் இசை வல்லுநர்களுக்கும் இங்கு வந்து சேர்ந்திருக்கும் பேரன்புடைய பெரியோர்களுக்கும் அன்பின் அடைக்கலமான தாய்மார்களுக்கும் குழந்தை செல்வங்களுக்கும் என் உள்ளம் கனிந்த பாசம் நிறைந்த வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். அன்பர்களே, மரணமடைந்த காலம் சென்ற அம்மையார் திருமதி தேவி ரெட்டி அவர்களுடைய 16ஆம் நாள் கருமாதி பிரார்த்தனைக்காக நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் மிக அன்போடு மதிப்போடு ஒன்றாக சேர்ந்திருக்கின்றோம். My humble felicitations, வணக்கம் to each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends and relatives. We have assembled here today, I will not say under very sad circumstances. The reason being, if a life has been well lived, That life needs to be celebrated. And today, we join together to observe the 16th day memorial service for our late Amma, Mrs. Devi Reddy, who undoubtedly touched so many lives. And as we go through today's Karumadi Prathanai, the Atma Shanti Prathanai, ladies and gentlemen, each and every one of you will certainly embark on a journey reflecting very, very nostalgically on your association with Amma and reflecting very, very fondly on all those moments that you'll enjoy together and where she made an indelible impression on each and every one of us. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, to officially welcome each and every one of you, we have Mrs. Rajaspree Naidu, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth child born to Amma and Daddy. And she is an attorney by profession, and she will extend a formal invitation and a welcome to each and every one of you.
Vanakkam. To my mum, that was an all-encompassing greeting. It meant welcome, it meant good morning, good afternoon, good night. It was something that we said to my mum when we left home. When we came back from home, it was always Vanakkam. It was never a good day or good morning. So I have a little poem before I could welcome each and every one of you. Someone is missing. Let this be a loving reminder that someone is missing today. Someone our hearts still hold on to as we travel along life's way. Someone who made life so special for all those who gather here. Someone who won't be forgotten, but cherished from year to year. And now, as we pause to remember, let us all fondly recall how dearly each of us loved her, and oh, how she loved us all. I would love to welcome you on behalf of my dad, Johnny Reddy, on behalf of my brother, Segrin. And if they're gonna roll their eyes, my siblings, I have not told them in advance. My mom's greatest accolade, the reason she lived, the reason she breathed, was for these people. They're not trophies, but they people, they come in all sizes and shapes and heights, and they're all unique human beings, and my mom lived for them and through them. So, Segrin, that's my eldest brother. If you could stand, Anna. I thought that as a welcome, everybody just says hello, welcome, and then we sit down, but I thought I would let you know who is my mom's greatest accolade. That's my brother Segrin. You can keep standing, and that's my sister Saris. You're gonna, thank you. They'll roll their eyes, they can all deeply, you know what they say, that it's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. And then my late brother Rajan, he's not here today. Him and my mum are actually vacationing. They wanted to do that when they were around here, but I think they up there looking down upon us on some sunny beach, I hope. And there's myself, I'm the fourth child, and my sister Krishni. Then I want to start with the grandchildren. Those were her lives and joys, and the reason I ask you to do this, I want you all to know that you all are and will be her legacy. Sorry, I never thought I'd cry today, but there we go. Prideshni, if you could stand, darling. Kerushan. Krishen. Yugeshri, Shailen, my son, Deshni, my daughter, and they're all my sons and daughters. And am I missing Sirushan, Oralan, Priyanta, Pravana. Venisha is not here today, and I wish we could say some prayers to my sister-in-law, her niece. They went to say their last goodbyes to her today at hospital, so if we could say a prayer for them. Have I missed any of the children? So there's 12 grandchildren, and they have four great-grandchildren. I don't think they're here. Zaid is here, but the other 3 are not here. I want to welcome each and every one of you on behalf of every one of them that has stood up here today. They are family members, and you know, my mum was the last of 13 kids, so all her nieces and nephews were her children. There are ex-in-laws, in-laws, there's friends who've become family, there's friends in this room that probably have never met my mum, but probably know each and every one of us here, and thank you for being here today. And I believe that we are here today, and I think Guru Vaipuri said it like it is, but he's obviously going to tell you the reason why and how Mum's going to transcend. But I believe we are here to celebrate her 82 years and 7 months and a couple days. And I want every one of you and my darling, darling, lovely mum, sophisticated woman that I am so proud to have called my mum. So I hope through all the speeches and through all the songs and through Guru Vaipuri, you will stay till the end and be with us and through our tears and snotty noses and all of that, on behalf of my family and my dad. So I believe that my dad, I didn't want to leave him out, you know, we were the accolades, and my dad, I believe he was the acquisition. And I think it was my mom's greatest acquisition, because without, so my sister laughs, but anyway, without him, all her accolades wouldn't have been here today. So thank you very much, and Guru Vaipuri.
Thank you, Rajeshwari Naidu. Shugavagana Modagasta Shamana Karamivinam Pinaputra Mana Rupa Maheshwara Putra Vikna Vinayaka Pade Namaste Namaste Yare Vanangida Vedum Vellayari Vanangida Vedum Velum Puripadiyanam Narum Kanayari Vanangida sound. 1, 2. Ready. Devi amma அம்மா என்றழைக்காத உயிரில்லையே, அம்மாவை வணங்காத உயிரில்லையே. அம்மா என்றழைக்காத உயிரில்லையே, அம்மாவை வணங்காத உயிரில்லையே. நின்று பேசும் தெய்வம் பெற்றதா என்னை வேறும் அம்மா என்றழைக்காத உயிரில்லையே, அம்மாவை வணங்காத உயிரில்லையே. தங்கும் புது வெள்ளை மாணிக்க மணிவை அவிழ உருதாகியாகுமா. வெளி நீதி வெளி வைத்து கேட்டனும் கொடுத்தால் கடித்தாயுத்தாய் அன்பும் கிடைக்காதுமா. நீ வெறும் மாதங்கள் கரிமோடியமை தாங்கி நீ பட்டும் விரைபாடி அறிவேணுமா. நீவேது ஜன்மங்கள் எடுத்தாலும் உரைத்தான் உனக்கில்லை நான் பட்டும் கடிதேருமா. உனே பெருந்தேனே அம்மா என்றழைக்காத உயிரில்லையே, அம்மாவை வணங்காத உயிரில்லையே. அபிராமி சிவகாமி கருமாயி மகமாய் திருக்கோவல் தேருங்கள் நீதான் அம்மா. அன்னைக்கு அன்றதே அபிஷேகம் அலங்காய் முருகில் திரை தொண்டும் நான் தான் அம்மா. ஒரு நூக புகழ் வேண்டும் மகிழல்ல தாயே அருள் வேலை எனக்கின்ற அதிபோதுமா. திங்கும் பிரி பொள்ளி அமிழ்ந்தேன் மகராக விருகின்ற வரவேணுமா. அது நீ தருவாயே, அம்மா என்றழைக்காத உயிரில்லையே, அம்மாவை வணங்காத உயிரில்லையே. அம்மா Devi amma.
Dear friends and relatives, that song there in dedication to the mother by Mr. Nelson Munian illustrates how important the mother figure is in each and every one of our lives. அம்மாவை இல்லாத உயிர் இல்லையே. There is no life form on this planet here that does not respect the mother. And if you say there is no life without the mother, remember the mother is the one who contains us for the 9 months of our gestation, the one who actually nurtures us throughout our stay here on earth. It is the mother who brings life into this world. There's no question about that. She is the one who nurtures. She is the one who nourishes. And she is undoubtedly that one who will go to the end of the earth for those that she has brought into this world. And just now, we had Rajeshpuri, who was welcoming you on behalf of the entire Reddy family. And ladies and gentlemen, you observed how emotional Rajeshpuri became upon extending that invitation to you. Having been overcome with this emotion, she inadvertently omitted the names of Tillanayaki, the sisters-in-law that is, and Isaivani Reddy. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to also mention that they too are grieving for Amma. You know, there is a proverb in Tamil. They say, "Thayat chirandadu oru kovilum illai, thandai solmikka mandiram illai." There is no greater temple that one can go and pray in than one's own mother. And there is no greater mandiram. Mandiram means a mantra. There is no greater mantra in this world than the words of advice uttered to you by your father. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reddy family are indeed very, very proud and very happy that they have Mr. Nelson Munian and his team of accomplished musicians to lead us into prayer today. Nelson comes from the Munian family, from Saraswati Padasale, and remember, essential and central. In fact, the vortex of this afternoon's 16-day memorial service, at the very vortex of this prayer of this observance lies the idea of prayer. Prayer, bhajan singing, kirtan singing, and this is very, very helpful and beneficial to the departed soul, the Atma Shakti. And any of you might ask me, why is it so important? Because it provides the kind of solace that this Atma needs as it makes its way to Sivalogam. That journey is not an easy journey, ladies and gentlemen. So worship is the final solution for our grief and for our mourning. We offer praise to Namah Shivaya. We offer praise to Yellamballang Arutperum Jodi, Thaniperum Karuning Andavan. And Nelson started off by the invocation, Ulagal Yellam Unarna Vodat Kangariyavan, invoking the blessings of Namah Shivaya. So that we may come to know him, that supreme personality of Godhead. We can use this opportunity to get to know him, the one who transcends our very troubled lives here on earth, so that we might also gain a new perspective and a new understanding. So, by way of prayer, the pain and sorrow of grieving becomes bearable, and prayer is undoubtedly the healing force, the most powerful healing force that comes from divinity itself. At this juncture, dear friends and relatives, we are proud to have in our midst one of the granddaughters, Prideshni, who is going to address you now. Incidentally, Prideshni is also involved in the legal fraternity. She is I hope I'm not wrong, Prideshni, but a magistrate by profession, and she will now address you, ladies and gentlemen.
Nalamadiyam, Pengal Matram, Thaimargale. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. It is with a heavy heart that I stand before you to speak of my Anbula Aya. However, being the eldest grandchild, it is only fitting to pay tribute to this great Atma. And Aya, being an ardent devotee of Swami, I commence my tribute with words from his divine discourse on Ishwaramba's day. The culture of Bharat considers the word Mata, or mother, as the most sacred. In times of suffering, one naturally calls out to Amma, not Appa. The word Amma is most soothing and gentle. It bestows immense strength The first word that a child utters is Amma. That is why the culture of Bharat has accorded the highest place to the mother, ahead of father, teacher, and God. The late Devi Reddy was the embodiment of the word Amma. In the words of the great Tamil female poet Avayar in her published works entitled Kondre Vendan, Annayam Pidavam Munnari Devam are the first known gods. I was fortunate enough to have 6 gods in my life: my Amma, my Appa, my paternal and maternal grandparents. They were instrumental in giving my sister Yugeshri and I the best childhood we could have asked for. Aya was our biggest supporter, our biggest fan. At any given opportunity, she would rattle off all our achievements, be it academic or religious. She celebrated every milestone in our lives. I recall looking out at the gallery as I performed on stage in the Tamil Eisteddfod. There was Aya seated in the front row, beaming with pride. It was so rooting for me, and throughout my life, Aya was always rooting for me. After the passing of my beloved Tata, the late Mr. P. Ponnen, it was a harsh reality check that the people I treasured and loved so dearly were on this earth for a limited time. And it was up to us as the grandchildren to learn and continue the legacy that our grandparents leave behind. I then started documenting how Aya conducted our religious prayers, and Aya was so meticulous in her instructions. I noted how Aya set the tatta, how she prepared the rooster after it was slaughtered. Aya even went so far as to caution me, and I quote, "Ma, you must never say that you don't like porridge or that you don't like to drink it. When you drink the porridge, Mariamma will be so happy." From childhood, both Yugeshri and I watched Aya in the kitchen. We received hands-on training in the art of Indian cuisine. I recorded all her favorite recipes, and she always started off by saying, "You must always cook with love, Ma, otherwise the food will not taste nice." And anyone who had the pleasure in partaking in her cooking will know that you certainly tasted the love in Aya's food. The last recipe from Aya was her famous creamed spinach. The recipe began with half a block of Rama margarine. Aya was very fond of Rama margarine. It went into just about everything she cooked, from dal to pongasadam. And when you cautioned her not to use too much Rama, she would sneakily add in another piece just for good measure. I verily believe that her loyalty to this brand most certainly contributed largely to their sales over the years. Vanakkam Aya was the first words I would utter when I entered her home. The second was, "Aya, what did you cook?" And even when I spoke to her over the phone, I would ask her the very same question out of habit. She always was so pleased to talk about what she cooked. In my last conversation with Aya, I regaled her with a story of how I'm referred to as the Aya of my group of friends. I told her that my friends seek me out to consult about her religious days that are observed, to make the rasam and send it to them when they are sick. And I am the one hauling the pot of freshly cooked mutton biryani together with the tin fish sandwiches when we go on outings. Aya laughed at this and she replied, "I'm so proud, Ma. At least when I'm gone, I know my granddaughter will take after me." Aya, despite all my achievements and accolades, the thought of taking after you is by far my best accomplishment. Aya, 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 I can call out to you 1,000 times over, and it will be met with resounding silence. I will never hear your voice. I will never hear the words, "I love you, Ma." Look after yourself, Ma. Never mind, Ma. Take your 2 hands and pray. Aya, I now take my 2 hands and pray to you. Go well, Anbula Aya. You are in the loving arms of Namah Shivaya, and I pray that you guide and protect us. And I am comforted in knowing that it is when it is my time to cross over, you will be there to receive me. Aya, throughout your life, you emulated the teachings enshrined in this classic Tamil Sangam literature, the Tirukkural, written by the poet Thiruvalluvar. it is only fitting to end my tribute with the following words. அகர முதல எழுத்தெல்லாம் ஆதி பகவன் உதிற்ற உலகோ கற்றதனாலாய பயனன் கோல் வாளறிவன் நற்றால் துழாயினின் அகர முதல எழுத்தெல்லாம் ஆதி பகவன் முதற்ற உலகோ மலர்மிசையேகினான் மானரி சேர்ந்தான் நிலமிசை நீடு வாழ்வார் அகர முதல எழுத்தெல்லாம் ஆதி பகவன் முதற்ற உலகோ ஓம் நம சிவாய ஓம் நம சிவாய ஓம் நம சிவாய எல்லோருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம்.
மிகவும் நன்றி. லேடி the strength of a community of people lies in their cultural heritage, and you can see the way Aya brought you all up and instilled those beautiful qualities in you all. That alone bears testimony to the fact that you all grew up with culture. Remember, culture is something that is learnt, ladies and gentlemen. Unlike genetics, which is hereditary, but culture is something that is instilled in children at a very young age. And that Tamil perumai that we speak of. Tamil endru sollada thalai nimarnda nillada, as Bharatidasan himself said. And I'm sure Aya will be looking down and she will be really happy, Pradeshni, at that beautiful eulogy that you presented on her. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure each and every one of you will agree with me when I say that it is a major concern of religion to provide an understanding of suffering and death. Every religion, in as much as that religion prescribes a way of life, it also attempts to try and provide a way of comprehending the morbid and the mysteries, the morbid foreboding and the mysteries that surround this phenomenon that we call death. ஆனால் அன்பர்களே, மரணத்தை எவராலும் தடுக்க முடியாது. Each and every one of us will one day have to confront our mortality. That is a given. And Valluvar, whom Pradeshni referred to just now, also spoke very, very reassuringly in the Kurul way he says, death is like falling asleep and birth is like being rudely awakened from sleep. Simple, nothing to fear. Other sages in the Hindu tradition, they speak of death as a release from bondage, as return to our source. When you say as return to our source, remember, our religion teaches us that we come from nothingness. And we lapse back into nothingness. And in the lap of all that nothingness, there is a somethingness. And that somethingness is Yellam Balla Arutperum Jodi Taniperum Karuning Andavan Tirusutrum Bala Nadarasa Peruman. So as we return to our source, we begin to see this glowing light, and it beckons to us. In all that nothingness, there is that somethingness. And that somethingness is Yellam Balla அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை ஆண்டவன் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் நடராச பெருமான். And he then prepares us for the next leg of our spiritual journey. அன்பர்களே, ஒரு ஆத்மா தன் திரேகத்தை விட்டு நீங்கிய விட்ட பிறகு அதை எல்லாம் வல்லங் இறைவன் சிவபெருமான் மறுபிரிவிக்கு தயார் செய்வார். இந்த உண்மைதான் நம் சமயம் உபதேசிக்கிறது. நாம் வாழ்ந்தால் காலம் சென்ற அம்மையார் தேவி ரெட்டிங் அவர்களைப் போல வாழ வேண்டும். ஏன் என்றால் தேவி தன் வாழ்க்கையை நன்முறையில் வாழ்ந்து வந்தார். மற்றவருக்கு அன்பு காட்டி தன் வாழ்க்கையை நன்முறையில் வாழ்ந்து வந்தார். Today it is a day when we celebrate Aya, when we celebrate Amma, and it is a day when we also begin to reflect nostalgically and we reminisce fondly on those beautiful moments that we shared. And this is a lesson to each and every one of us, ladies and gentlemen. Do not wait for the moment to become a memory. Validate, acknowledge and appreciate whilst the people are with you. உயிருள்ள போதே ஒற்ற உதவி செய்யுங்கள். உயிர் போன விட்ட பிறகு ஊரார் மெத்த ஒப்பாரி வைக்காதீர்கள். It is important to understand, because Hinduism is mankind's oldest spiritual declaration, and it is filled with so much of beautiful truths, and we need to take note of it, and we need to actually take leaves out of people's book, like even Amma's book, to take a leaf out of her book and lead our lives by doing good and being good and living a life by principle and discipline. At this juncture, I will now ask our service group to lead us into another two beautiful songs.
பெருமானே தீன கருணாகரனே நடராஜ நீலகண்டனே தீன கருணாகரனே நடராஜ நீலகண்டனே தீன கருணாகரனே நடராஜ நீலகண்டனே ஒன்னரோள் புகழ்ந்த பணியும் என்னையும் இருந்தும் வரணும் ஒன்னரோள் புகழ்ந்த பணியும் என்னையும் இருந்தும் வரும் ஞானியே மனம் பிறந்து நீலகண்டனே ஞானிகள் மனம் பிறந்து நீலகண்டனே மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே ஆண்ட நீலகண்டனே நீலகருணாகரனே நடராஜ நீலகண்டனே Eulogy, manala tana buaru sababanje. Eulogy, manala tana buaru sababanje. ஞானிகள் மன் பிரிந்து நீலகண்டனே. ஞானிகள் மன் பிரிந்து நீலகண்டனே. மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே அரே எனியாண்ட நீலகண்டனே. நீலகருணாகரனே நடராஜ நீலகண்டனே. ஆதி அந்தமெல்லாம் அருளே அன்பரோடு வாழும் பரணே. ஆதி அந்தமெல்லாம் அருளே அன்பரோடு வாழும் பரணே. ஆதிமதினே நீரே பரமேசா நீலகண்டனே. ஆதிமதினே நீரே பரமேசா நீலகண்டனே. மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே மௌன குருவே அரே எனியாண்ட நீலகண்டனே. நீலகருணாகரனே நடராஜ நீலகண்டனே நீலகண்டனே நீலகண்டனே. மலைகளிலே குடுக்குமலை எந்த மலை குங்குமணி நாட்டினிலே புனித மலை எந்த மலை தேடி வந்தோம் என்பதெல்லாம் செவிக்குமலை எந்த மலை தேவாதி தேவனெல்லாம் தேடி வரும் மருதமல்லி மருதமலி மருதமல்லி முருகா மருதமலை மாமணியே முருகைய மருதமலை மாமணியே முருகைய தேவர்கள் குலங்கும் வேலைய மருதமலை மாமணியே முருகைய தேவர்கள் குலங்கும் வேலைய மருதமலை மாமணியே முருகைய மனைவியை சந்தமம் அழகியும் மனைவி வள்ளி தெய்வான முருகனுக்கு அரோகர மருதமலை மாமணியே முருகைய தேவர்கள் குலம் காணும் வேலைய ஐய மருதமலை மாமணியே முருகைய.
You know, they say death is a most natural experience. As Vallabhar said, not to be feared. It is a quick transition from one state to another. And after this transition, we are prepared for yet another physical body in order to continue the soul's spiritual evolution. Now, our brother Periyar Nelson Munian sang two beautiful songs now. The first one in veneration of Namashivaya, and the second one in veneration of Lord Muruga. And this is a month of Vaigasi, and this is the month when Muruga Peruman made his spiritual advent on this planet. But the first one, ladies and gentlemen, first Padigam that he sang, the first song, Deena Karunaharane Nadaraja. That song beautifully describes divinity as we know it. If you look at front of Amma's picture there, and she used to sing the Thevaram and Thiruvasanam so beautifully, having got a grounding in the Tamil language at the Cloud Tamil Institute. It's a Reddy Road, and there, having that kind of grounding, she loved Sivan to bits. She was a great Swami devotee, but Namashivaya, Muruga Peruman and all the others, and even that Adiyam Andamamilladang Aruppirum Jodi, together with his consort Mahashakti, Jaganmata, Udagattan Nayagi, that mother there and that prayer, that devotion to that mother during the month of Adi was something very, very dear and near to our mother. And when Nelson sang that beautiful Padigam, Deena Karunaharane Nadaraja, he mentions the word Mauna Guruve. Mauna Guruve means that silent teacher. Namashivaya is undoubtedly one of the most complex, one of the most profound and compassionate aspects of divinity to be found in the history of religion of man, in the religions of man. And when we say Mauna Guruve, that silent teacher who silently creates, sustains, maintains, and eventually dissolves the material universe. Mauna Guruve Harane Yanayanda, the one that created all of us. So he is the silent creator, sustainer, and dissolver. And when we look at him there, Idada Kali Thukki Nindradam Devam, that aspect of divinity who dances on one foot, on the dwarf of ignorance, Muilaka, and the one foot raised, Urukali Thukki Nindradam Devam. Then we see in that beautiful Nadaraja Peruman a ceaseless flow of energies that unite minuscule atoms with mighty galaxies, energies that unite microcosm with macrocosm. Namashivaya is undoubtedly, when one reads into Saiva Siddhantam, he is and represents the purest form of thought that one could experience on this planet Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember very, very clearly when I spoke at our late Rajan Reddy's yearly ceremony. I mentioned there, I looked at Amma and Daddy, and I remember telling them there are very few other things in the life experiences of any parent that can ever match or come near that feeling, that soul-satisfying feeling, that feeling of tremendous tenderness and love that a parent feels when they see their children accomplishing better than they do. When your child becomes one better than you, you are filled and you glow from the inside. Even when your child becomes a better parent than you were, it fills you with immense pride as a parent. I clearly remember mentioning this to Amma on that day and Daddy as they sat there and they were sobbing and crying continuously. Any parent will if you lose a child. And when we look at Rajan's accomplishments together with his siblings, but Rajan Reddy became a household name as a result of KZM Oils and his various other business interests. We have Miss Isai Reddy, the daughter-in-law of our Amma, who was supposed to have addressed you this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. But I think, as was mentioned right at the outset, Isai is in no real condition to speak to us this afternoon because she is still waiting news from the hospital, and it is traumatic for her. But we have Venisha Sabhabadi Reddy, the daughter of our late Rajan, who will now address you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My mom has asked me to speak on her behalf, so I have not formally prepared anything. I now have to give an impromptu speech just like my father always did. At the beginning of 2021, February 18th to be exact, we had lost my dad, Rajan Reddy. This is the time that I had seen a different side of Aya. She became a fierce, protective lioness, especially toward my mom and I, as she knew the mammoth task that my brother's mom and I were taking on by leading Dad's businesses and carrying on his legacy. She used to phone me every single day just to check how I was, and she would also ask how Mom was and to see how we were coping. And she would always say, "Don't worry, darling, just have strength. Continue and have strength. Do what your father would do. And you are just like him. You guys have learned the way he has taught you, and you will be fine." Every day Aya would call, every day I'd speak to her and Tata, and these are the words, despite her pain, she would always make sure that Mom and I were okay. Everyone here today would know how Aya felt about my father. A lot of the siblings would say he was her favorite. And when he used to go home to her, she would prepare, well, like she'd do for all her children and her grandchildren. She would prepare many curries and sit with him. And one of the things Tata said is, both of them would always leave him out, and sit and gossip and talk about just everything that used to go on. Aya was she never really told me what Dad and her spoke about. But on my birthday is one day after Dad's, she did call me. I spoke to her on the 9th of May. Dad would have been 60 on the 9th of May. And I spoke to her on the 10th of May, which was my birthday. And she said, "Venisha, he was supposed to retire at 60. And when he told me he was going to retire, and he told me that he was going to come and sit with me, go back to the business and check that you guys were doing everything properly, and then come back to me, and then go back to the business, just to make sure that everything was running smoothly." And for some odd reason, I believed that Dad was going to retire. We all know he was not going to retire. She was on the 9th of May, I spoke to her, Mom spoke to her, we all cried. I think it really took a toll on her. I can honestly say that my granny passed away from a broken heart. The day that Dad passed away, her heart broke, but she made sure she stayed around for one whole year, or 15 months to be exact, to make sure that we were all okay. And I think to not traumatize us anymore because of everything that we had gone through with losing Dad. think about Aya, I always think about her soul being extremely happy. She only wanted to be with Dad. She would get up every day, make his tea, Tata would make his tea in the morning. Every plate of food that they ate from morning to evening, they would leave at Dad's quota, and they would eat from that plate. Their life basically revolved around him even though he was no longer there. I think the fierceness of making sure his soul transitioned to another, transitioned peacefully, gave them a bit of peace and also prolonged her journey on this earth. Aya was there every single prayer when it came to Dad. She gave us strength, she gave us comfort. She always made sure that each of us were okay. The grandchildren all shared a very special place in her heart. Shaylin and I will always joke that I was the online grandchild and he was the physical grandchild. I used to do everything online and Shaylin would do everything physically, and we actually communicated all the time when it came to Aya and Tata. During COVID as well, because they couldn't venture out and do things on their own, Shaylin and I teamed up to try our best to make sure that they never lacked for anything. I know all the cousins are struggling. I feel your pain, and I know each of you shared a very special place in Aya's heart, and she was proud of every single one of the grandchildren, regardless of what was accomplished, or she accepted each and every one of us for all our faults. She loved us for who we were, and she spoke proudly about every single one of her grandchildren. Despite it could have been the smallest accomplishment, but she always spoke proudly about everything that her grandchildren and her children did. So you can all be comforted that Aya loved each and every one of us, and that now she, as much as it's difficult without her, I can honestly say that I feel she's so happy where she is. And you know, I was chatting to Tata, and Tata actually told me, he says, they both left me out again, and they both made sure that they were together again. And for me, the relationship that Dad and Aya shared was extremely special. He loved her to bits, he loved her food, and a lot of people here will know how he spoke about her cooking and how much he loved her cooking. And they were very, very close. He used to defend her like no one else did. And I think now she's in her happy place, and she's at so much of peace. And I'm just grateful that I got to see that fierce lioness this past 15 months, and how protective she was and how proud she was of the way we were continuing her son's legacy. I think Nadeem has a clip, because you know, everyone who knows my father will know that he had to speak at every single function, especially a family function. So it wouldn't be a function without hearing a few words from him.
Being disciplined came from both my parents, and both my parents being very different to each other. You know, mom being the disciplinarian, and you know, dad being the practical person that gets things done on time. And I think that has really helped me to think through a lot of what I do at KZ and Oils, make sure there is good planning, and I think proper execution.
Everyone who knew Dad would know that he'd always say that the discipline came from Aya, and his straightforwardness and his way of getting things done immediately came from Tata. As we bid farewell to the matriarch of the Reddy family, we can only be grateful for everything that she taught us, and the love. She had immense love for everyone who came into contact with her. And for me, I thank Aya for everything she's done for us, and especially for bringing the most amazing man into our lives. As much as we miss him every single day, but she helped us keep him alive. She helped us with the strength and the comfort over the past 15 months. Sometimes I don't even know how she did it when she was going through her own pain. So Aya, I'm so thankful for everything that you've done for us as the grandchildren, and my aunts, my uncles, my mom. And I just bid you a farewell and a peaceful journey into the next realm, and we'll always keep you close to our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Benisha. At the outset, when Rajastri actually introduced all the grandchildren and asked them to stand, it was, I think, a very, very proud moment for the Reddy family, because having listened to just two of the grandchildren, your command of the language, besides the command of the language, the depth of your presentations today speaks volumes about, as you mentioned, the matriarch of this family. You know, the word grand is not a word that has just been loosely chosen in the English language. We say parent, pertimargal. In English they say grandchildren. Grand is something big, something very, very, something that you want to really adore and describe with so many beautiful words. Great grand also. So grandchildren are really those children that actually complete the circle of love for which family really stands. And Aya was the epitome of love. You mentioned the fact, I remember seeing that clip on SABC TV when Dad appeared there, and he spoke about his mom's discipline. In fact, Aya stood for all those very, very strong D words that we find in the English language. Words like discipline, duty, devotion, dedication, and determination. Being actually born into a very, very large, extended family in the Clerwood area, 13 siblings, including herself, 13 of them. So it wasn't very easy for her. And then marrying Tata in 1958, the journey also was not an easy one. Tata was a dedicated and a hard-working man. You know, he was a workaholic in the true sense of the word, but Aya was the one who really gave direction. And she was a very thrifty and intelligent woman, having completed her studies at Clerwood High. And I got much of this information from Auntie Mummy, who is not here today with us, but she had so much to say about Aya's contribution in so many different ways. And Aya was a trailblazer. At one stage, she wanted to become a nurse because she loved assisting people who were ill and doing first aid at school level and at other levels also. So I think, you know, they say, what's bred in the bone will come out in the flesh. What runs in your genes, you can't. That is, there's no negotiation on that. I told you, culture you can learn, but genetics is hereditary. And many of your grandchildren have that. And I think it is a laudable acquisition of those fine qualities from Aya. Now, our brother Nelson will once again sing two padigams for us.
அம்மானிதானே அன்பான தெய்வம் அருமை என்று அம்மாவே அருமை என்று அம்மாவே அம்மானிதானே அன்பான தெய்வம் அருமை என்று அம்மாவே அருமை செய்வமணி உகரமணி விஷ்ணுவர் நித்யமணி மகரமணியை எகர்முழாடும் முகரணியம் அன்புமின் துன்பம் குறிக்கும் என்னருளியம் காலன் சென்ற திரு தேவி ரெடி அவர்களை ஆத்மமும் நற்கனியும் சாந்தியும் நற்கனியும் சாந்தியும் Devi Reddy அவர்களை ஆத்மமும் நற்கனியும் சாந்தியும் நற்கனியும்
Will the driver of the following vehicle, ND 645936, I think it's a white Kia. If you could please move that vehicle because it's causing an obstruction to somebody who wants to leave in a hurry. White Kia, ND 645936. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, in the Hindu religion, Hinduism is undoubtedly mankind's oldest spiritual declaration. And in Hinduism, we have the 16 samskaras. They are actually stages in the evolution of the soul whilst it's here in this Manulagam, this Bhulogam. Every aspect of our life is sacred. It is sacred for a Hindu like it is for any other person from any other religious grouping. The Hindu religion prescribes many sanctifying rituals known as samskaras. These are the ones that we go through, and altogether there are 16 of them. Of the 16 rituals or the samskaras, they actually are very well known and they cover the journey of life right from the 3rd month of conception, when we do the Velakapu prayer, right until when our bodies are conferred to the kindred dust from whence it is begotten, and that soul begins its journey to Sivalokam. So in each one of these transitions, there are rituals that will accompany the transition, and these rituals are purifying rituals in order to shed any form of negativity of the mind, and also to help developing positive qualities in the person. And even in the case of maranam, that is death, there too, it is preparation for that soul to make its onward journey to Sivalokam. And prayer, like the singing of bhajans, like our brother Nelson Munian and his two sons and the other accompanists are doing today, leading us in prayer, that assists the soul on its journey. And having said that, you will realize that prayer is at the vortex of the 16th day observance, the Karumadi Atma Shanti prayer. And it is for this reason that we have made certain adjustments to the program. We would not like for even the slideshow to impinge on the prayer, but whilst the prayer is going on, we will have the slideshow running, and you could also join the family in reminiscing fondly on those various moments that have been captured on celluloid. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture in the program, I'd like to bring on our third speaker, and he is none other than Mr. Shail Naidu, who will now address you.
Vanakkam, friends and family. This evening we pay tribute to a life well lived. It comes with great pain, but as well amazing memories. I am one of 12 grandchildren. Even though my tribute is of a personal nature, I'm sure my cousins and I share similar sentiments with Aya. Aya was more than just an Aya. She was a mother, a best friend, and my greatest cheerleader. From a young age, I always knew I was loved with no judgment. The love Aya shared was unconditional and effortless. She was the woman that gave meaning to who I am and where I come from. She was always there to lend a helping hand or to say the words you needed to hear when times got tough and get you to the other side. Aya was my person who knew me better than I do. She just had the special power of making everything all right and safe. She gave me the ability to be who I am today by loving me, cheering me on, and telling me when I was wrong. I shared a very special bond with her that I will treasure forever, and it's a bond that will stand the test of time. Aya might not be here physically, but I know she's always going to be by my side no matter what. Aya, I'm going to miss our daily calls and our talks at the dining room table or our monthly grocery shopping. But one thing you leaving us is that your love is the forever thing. Your wings were ready for you, but my heart wasn't. It's going to take maybe the rest of my life to learn to live without you. But I'm also grateful for the time I did have with you. I found a home so fitting for the great wife, mother, and granny Aya was. A wife, a mother, a grandma too. This is the legacy we have from you. You taught us love and how to fight. You gave us strength, you gave us might. A stronger person would be hard to find, and in your heart you were always kind. You fought for us, all in one way or another, not as a wife, not just as a mother. For all of us, you gave your best, and now the time has come for you to rest. So go in peace, you've earned your sleep. Your love in our hearts will eternally keep. I will always love you, and you will always be my heart's keeper. Rest easy, Aya.
Vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the time constraints, I will now call on Thilanayagi Reddy now to formally move the vote of thanks. Tilly also is an ex-teacher, ladies and gentlemen, and I now call on Tilly to move the vote of thanks on behalf of the family. Thereafter, we go into the Diba Aradhane, and at this juncture, allow me to please make a humble request to you to come in groups of at least 7 to 10 people at a time to do the Aradhane.
Welcome everyone. Sairam, a very good evening. Guru Vaipuri, we were so honored when you accepted our invitation to be the Master of Ceremonies this evening. And for the most important prayer, that is Amma's 16-day prayer. Guru, you have done an excellent job in explaining the significance of this day, this time, and what happens to the Atma. Thank you for sharing that knowledge, Guru. Mikanandriyaya. First and most importantly, I'd like to make my humble salutations, our humble salutations, to our Supreme Lord Namah Shivaya for granting this wonderful soul, Devi, Reddy, to walk this earthly plane with us, where she met this amazing young man, Manamandra Reddy, and they have created this incredible Reddy legacy together. Namah Shivaya has been wonderful to this family. You know, everyone is so emotional this evening, but there's a correction I'd like to make on a mission that has been made. My sister-in-law, Saris, his husband, Walganathan Punan, was not mentioned. Apologies for that. And Krishnaveli's husband, who is no longer with us, has not been mentioned. I apologize for that. Amma was deeply religious and had her own resident priest in Uncle Manikam, as we fondly know him as, and his incredible wife, Auntie Mummy. It always brings a smile to my face because Auntie Mummy is so strange. Anyway, throughout Amma's life, she's had Guru Manikam to consult with. On every little move she made, Uncle Manikam had to be consulted. Uncle Manikam has done all the family prayers, has always been with the family for years, and right up until the very end, when he's doing her final prayers. He's always been there guiding us and giving us strength. Nandri Guru and Auntie Mummy. Our tremendous gratitude goes to Molly. You have really been Amma's and Daddy's godsend. Amma always consulted with you, and you would go to any length to help. That, she would always say, Molly did this and Molly has done that. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for caring for her and Daddy for the years that you have, and I know you will continue to do so. Also, Molly, thank you very much and the staff of KZN Oils for putting this function together and sending off our dear Amma in such great style, the style that she has been so used to. So, thank you. To all our family and friends, both local and overseas, you have been a pillar of strength for us. with all the telephone calls and messages and so on. Without your support, without your encouragement, we would have really had a very, very sad time over the past 2 weeks. To Amma and Dad's neighbors, who have always been there for them, always looking out for them with such great concern. And if they hadn't seen Amma and Dad, they would come over to find out what's going on. To them, we are so grateful. And I know they will continue to watch out for our dad. To our family, all the siblings, all the grandchildren, the in-laws, thank you so much for standing together, for supporting each other, for loving each other, for crying on each other's shoulders and talking about the wonderful memories that we've had with Ma. Those are cherished times and cherished memories we will always keep in our hearts, though Ma's not here with us right now. You know, Ama's motto was always to hold the family. Family first was her motto. And I know we will honor that. We will stand together, we will stand strong, no matter what. Anandri Nelson for the rendition of the divine prayers. The vibration in this hall has been uplifted to such an extent. And you have played all Ama's songs, all her favorites were sung today. How happy must she be? Nandri, Nandri.
Thank you.
And of course, Nadeem, the creative genius, has put together a slideshow. Thank you so much for your hard work. That's much appreciated, and I'm sure everyone is just waiting to watch that show. Thank you so much to our service providers. You all know who you are, and some of them got on board really very late last night. We really appreciate that. We hope that you're going to stay with us and enjoy the scrumptious meals that have been provided for you. And you will stay a while and share some fond memories with us. There are so many people that I would like to thank this evening. You all know who you are. Time does not allow me to go through this list. But just know that we are so grateful for everything that you have done, all your kind words and deeds. And of course, every single person seated here this evening, thank you so much for being here, for accepting our invitation to share this time with us to honor our great mother. Thank you so much. I'm standing here, there's so much I would like to say. There's so much thanks I would like to give to so many people. But I'm not going to do that because they know who they are and they know what they do. So, folks, thank you so much for being with us. You've blessed us with your presence to honor our dear mother. Vanakkam.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the most important part of our ceremony, that is the Dubaradini, where we call the immediate family. Thereafter, the family, friends and relatives will come in little groups and offer Dubaradini. Ladies and gentlemen, when you come to the front, there is Dubagadzode, that is a campfire, you turn it 3 times. Thereafter, these petals there, you turn it 3 times. Do not throw it onto Amma's frame, but there is a kudum at the bottom of the altar, you may do so. Thank you. Bring up one, come. Bring up one, come please first. Padina விளக்கு நம்மா இருக்கிறது 14 விளக்கு நம்மா இருக்கிறது 8 மணி மேலே இருக்கிறது அம்மா 8 மணி மேலே இருக்கிறது 14 விளக்கு நம்மா இருக்கிறது 8 மணி மேலே இருக்கிறது அம்மா 8 மணி மேலே இருக்கிறது எந்த நம்மவே எந்த தெய்வமே எந்த நம்மவே எந்த தெய்வமே எப்பவும் திருமுகத்தை கண்ணும் அம்மா அம்மா எப்பவும் திருமுகத்தை கண்ணும் அம்மா தலைவசன கேட்ட சாத்தமும் வர்ணப்பட்டு தலைவசன கேட்ட சாத்தமும் வர்ணப்பட்டு தேவமுணருள்வரும் நமவே அம்மா தேவமுணருள்வரும் நமவே 14 விளக்கு நம்மா இருக்கிறது 14 விளக்கு நம்மா இருக்கிறது 8 மணி மேலே இருக்கிறது அம்மா 8 மணி மேலே இருக்கிறது பாலூட்டி சீராட்டி பலுக நம்மவே பாலூட்டி சீராட்டி பலுக நம்மவே எப்பவும் திருமுகத்தை கண்ணும் அம்மா அம்மா எப்பவும் திருமுகத்தை கண்ணும் அம்மா 14 விளக்கு நம்மா அம்மா அம்மா 14 விளக்கு நம்மா இருக்கிறது 14 விளக்கு நம்மா இருக்கிறது 8 மணி மேலே இருக்கிறது அம்மம்மா எப்பவும் திருமுகத்தை காண்போம் அம்மா என்ன துரோகம் நாங்கள் ஒழித்தோம் இவர்கள் என்ன துரோகம் நாங்கள் ஒழித்தோம் இவர்கள் எங்களே செய்தாயோ என்ன துரோகம் நாங்கள் ஒழித்தோம் இவர்கள் என்ன துரோகம் நாங்கள் ஒழித்தோம் இவர்கள் எங்களே செய்தாயோ உன்னையே எங்கள் உடல் நீ எங்களை மறந்தாயோ அம்மா உன்னையே எங்கள் உடல் நீ எங்களை மறந்தாயோ என் அம்மாவே என் தெய்வமே என் அம்மாவே என் தெய்வமே என்ன துரோகம் நாங்கள் ஒழிப்போம் இவர்கள் என்ன துரோகம் நாங்கள் ஒழிப்போம் இவர்கள் எங்களே செய்தாயோ எங்களே செய்தாயோ உன்னைய எங்கள் உறவுகள் நீ எங்களை மறந்தாயோ அம்மா உன்னைய எங்கள் உறவுகள் நீ எங்களை மறந்தாயோ என் அம்மாவே என் தெய்வமே
அம்மா உனக்காக நிம்மதி எங்கள் அம்மா நீ அல்லாத உலகத்தில் நீ எப்படி நாங்கள் வாழ்வோமே அம்மாவே தெய்வமே நிம்மதி எங்கள் அம்மா நீ அல்லாத உலகத்தில் நீ எப்படி நாங்கள் வாழ்வோமே உயிரும் நீ உடலும் நீ அருமை எங்கள் அம்மாவே உயிரும் நீ உடலும் நீ அருமை எங்கள் அம்மாவே திருச்சம்பலம் நம சிவாய வாழ்க நாதன் தத்தார் வாழ்க நம சிவாய வாழ்க நாதன் தத்தார் வாழ்க இவை பொழுதும் என்னென்கள் நீங்க தத்தார் வாழ்க ஒரு தாடி செய்யுந்த பூக்கடல்கள் தேவராய் செல்லானின்றி தேவரை சங்கமத்துள் நம சிவாய வாழ்க நாதன் தாட்டால் வாழ் இவை முழுதும் என்னென்ன நீ காத்த தாழ்வாள் நம சிவாய நம சிவாய நம சிவாய. जगजननी जगन्माता आदिपराशक्ति पालियम्मा जगजननी जगन्माता आदिपराशक्ति पालियम्मा मार्बवनी அம்மா ஜெகஜனனி कल्याणी करुमारी कामाक्षिणी वरलक्ष्मी मातंगी. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, we said the word, please observe silence. This is not the time to socialize at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. People are praying. This is the most important part. When we finish our Duvaradhani, our Shanti praise Vama, then everybody can socialize thereafter. You can have supper and socialize. Thank you. Please, for now, ladies and gentlemen, let's respect Amma's prayer. Varuvai, 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 Amma. Tirule uravai, varuvai, Amma. Amma. Varuvai, 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 Amma. Tirule uravai, varuvai, Amma. 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 Devi Amma. வருவாய் அம்மா, இருளே நீங்கிட வருவாய் அம்மா, உந்தன் அருளை பொழுதிடும், உந்தன் அருளை பொழுதிடும் தேவி அம்மா. அம்மா அம்மம்மா அம்மம்மா. करुमारी कामचिनी, कल्याणी करुमारी कामचिनी, कल्याणी करुमारी कामचिनी, वरलक्ष्मी मातंगी देवी अम्मा ताई, वरलक्ष्मी मातंगी देवी अम्मा ताई, वरलक्ष्मी वारायु विसलाचिनी अम्मा. வரலட்சுமி காராய் விசலாட்சினி, உலகனுமாயி தேவி அம்மா தாய், உலகனுமாயி தேவி அம்மா தாய். அம்மா 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 அம்மா. வருவாய் 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 அம்மா, இருளே உணர்வாய் வருவாய் அம்மா. வருவாய் 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 அம்மா, இருளே உணர்வாய் வருவாய் அம்மா. சைரம் 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 சாரியா, சைரம் 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 சாரியா, சைரம் 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 சாரியா, சைரம் 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 சைரம். Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the conclusion for the Achot Padigam Muttineri. We will ask one and all to please rise, put your hands together. Let's pray for Amma. Let's pray for our family as well. அறிவு முத்தினரே அதிகார முத்திரே முயவேனே பத்தினரே அறிவீனே மரபினங்கள் பாடுவனும் ஈசன் வடிவல நந்தாமணி போற்றி. ஈசன் வடிவல நந்தாமணி போற்றி. ஈசன் வடிவல நந்தாமணி போற்றி. எகுந்த பொருளைய கையிலாச குணபணியே கோவிதத்தில் செல்வ கணவனிகை பொருந்த காமம் காலன் சென்று திரு தேவி ரெடி அவர்களை ஆத்மாவும் நற்கதிவும் சாந்தியும் சாந்தியும் சிவனே கதவை திறப்பாய் தேவன் கதவை திறப்பறிவோம் கல்லாட் புரியும் கருதாட் புரியும் கசுந்தரி நல்லாட் புரியும் நினையாட் புரியும் நைந்தனத்தை சொல்லாட் புரியும் துரியாட் புரியும் தோராட் புரியும் எல்லாட் பருகளையும் பொருதருவாய் இறைவாய் கற்றேனுவனே தென்னாடுனே சிவனே போற்றி எண்ணாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா இறைவா போற்றி 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 அறிவோம். சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி. எல்லோருக்கும் மிக்க நன்றி. வணக்கம். அமருங்கள். Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Reddy family, the bereaved family, we like to thank one and all for being present, taking time off, praying with our family. Not only for today, ladies and gentlemen, from the time of the funeral for the 16 days, we floral tributes for your financial help and special rallying around. Ladies and gentlemen, in any way which help the family, they like to say Mikka Nandri and thank you. The family has supper specially provided for you. Please partake before you leave the hall. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, today's service is conducted by the members of the Saraswati Padasali School of Fine Arts. I am Premanathan Nelson Munin from the Munin Brothers. On my left is 13-year-old Ruvashan Munin on the keyboard. Not forgetting, not once but twice, played in South India and they gave a title Master Sivanesan Munin. But on the Mardingam today, he joined us on the tabla and Kovalan Naidu on the percussions. Mikanandi, ladies and gentlemen, after your supper and your refreshment, you have a very, very safe journey home. Nandri, Vanakkam, thank you.
you.